Today we are going to be talking about the four rulers who surround Palmer Kingdom, and with their rose garden keys have the power to open the way to the Cherub Rose Garden. This will be my last Yes 5 Gogo Percure video as I get ready with an analysis video for the 4th and 5th season of the Percure series. So without further ado, let's get on with this information. The four rulers are a group of monarchs who live in 4 separate different kingdoms that surround the Palmer Kingdom. Each of them holds a rose garden key, which can open a pathway to the Cherub Rose Garden. For this, Eternal has taken interest in them and attacked their kingdoms, forcing them to run away and take the form of Palmen, so like little pinkies. Once a ruler is found, he or she must stay in the Rose Pact for a certain amount of time to recover, after which they can go back and restore their respective kingdoms. Each has a special power that benefits themselves and the Percure, and the rulers can also communicate using their crowns. All of the 4 rulers come from the 5th season of Percure, Yes Percure 5 Gogo. Each ruler appears in one episode apart from the other. The first ruler to appear is King Doughnuts of the Doughnut Kingdom, as he made his debut in episode 6 of the series. Later on in episode 15, the second ruler debuted, Queen Bavarois of the Bavarois Kingdom. Pretty sure I pronounced that wrong. The third ruler to appear is Princess Crape of the Crape Kingdom in episode 28. And finally, the last ruler to appear is King Montblanc of the Montblanc Kingdom in episode 39. The 4 voice actors of each of the rulers are Yatsure Matsumoto as King Doughnuts, Sakiko Tamagawa as King Montblanc, Kumiko Nishihara as Princess Crape, and Mari Adachi as Queen Bavarois. Now let's learn of each of the 4 rulers one by one, starting with King Doughnuts. King Doughnuts is the first ruler to be found. He is a small blue dragon. Doughnuts is the ruler of the Doughnut Kingdom, which is east of the Palmer Kingdom. He is dignified and smart, but arrogant and critical. Thus, he first says cocoa and nuts are hopeless as kings and appreciates people who work hard for others. Should he be attacked, he will stun the enemy with a blue light emanating from his hands. The king leaves after he recovers, but before giving a calling card as seen in episode 14, he ends his sentences with Donna. Queen Bavarois is the second ruler to be found. She is a pink and red bird and the queen of the Bavarois Kingdom, which is south of the Palmer Kingdom. Sociable and energetic, she is talkative to the point of causing problems for others. Her powers allow her to communicate between Percure by making their transformation items act as mobile cell phones. After she recovered, she gave her calling card and went back to her kingdom. As seen in episode 25, she ends her sentences with Woro. Princess Crape is a chiffon tiger with orange stripes and is the third ruler of being the princess of the Crape Kingdom, which is west of Palmer Kingdom. Loyal but also adamant, she is in love with Coco and believes that the two of them became engaged when they were children. But this was merely a cultural misunderstanding on Coco's part, as he didn't know exchanging foods was considered an engagement. Still, Crape loves Coco and takes the engagement quite seriously. In episode 28, Crape's powers activate the Milky Note, a laptop built by Nuts, which produces the Milky Mirror, when it's summoned by Nuts. Crape leaves after she recovers her strength remaining friends with Coco after he rejects her confession, and giving her a calling card as in episode 34. She ends her sentences with, "Cuckoo." King Montblanc is the last and the king of the Palmer Kingdom to be found, which is north of the Palmer Kingdom. He is a green and tan turtle and the eldest of all the 4 rulers. Despite his cute appearance, he is the most intelligent. King Montblanc knows about the connection between flora and syrup. He also may know the connection between Eternal and the Care Rose Garden, as seen in episode 39. He ends his sentences with, "Maman." Before the sequel started, each monarch lived peacefully in their respective kingdoms around the Palmer Kingdom, and the monarchs are not mentioned at all in Yes Percure 5. When helping King Doughnuts, it happened at Nuts' house. Coco, Nuts, and Milk sensed a palmen, and everyone went to go look for it. Aurora stayed inside to take a picture of it as it floated by, but after being interrupted, she was forced to leave. Later, she spots him again and gets a picture to reveal his identity. A day later, Aurora shows everyone he is still asleep, and they attempt to wake him up by handing him the rose pact, followed by a futon. Nozomi tamed from another palmen, but he remains asleep. After awakening, he scolds the group for various tribal matters and attempts to leave to return home, but they force him to stay until he can properly recover. As he gets to know the girls, he deemed Coco and Nuts unfit rulers of the Palmer Kingdom and spent time arguing with Syrup. At one point, Scorp attempts to capture him after realizing he has been obtained, but the cures drive him off. And during another incident, he uses his blue light to help them out when Nabutakos attacks. Eventually, as the girls discover what Milk has been doing, he decides to make his leave, giving Aurora his card before Syrup takes him home. When helping Queen Bavarois, at Nuts' house, her palmen form was discovered nearby. But before they could get the picture to the group, found themselves transported into the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. Believing the palmen may be in the giant form in the story, they climb the beanstalk. However, they do not find it and soon return home, where they discovered it took shelter in Wind's hair. She took a picture of it and it transformed into Queen Bavarois. I'm gonna keep mispronouncing her name, who began to chat up a storm until they became tired of her constant chatter and put her to sleep, allowing her to properly recover. At one point, she helps the group by giving them the ability to speak to each other through their cure mo, so they can find Karen and Kurumi. She also personally gives Syrup some advice, and afterwards she decides to return home to those waiting for her. She gives Rin her card. When they helped Princess Crape out, they were at the lake that was by Nuts' house. The group encounter Crape's palmen, much to the distress of Coco and Nuts. Nobody can understand why until she clings onto Coco to say she is his fiancée. Coco tries to say she misunderstood him from their past interactions, as he was unaware of sharing fruit in the Crape Kingdom is considered an engagement promise. As Nozomi and Milk get angry with him, Karen points out that because both kingdoms didn't agree with it, then he doesn't have to marry her. But this makes her cry and threaten refusal to accept him as the king of Palmer Kingdom. The group tries to discourage Crape after she tries to convince Coco how good this marriage between kingdoms could be, but their words mean nothing to her. Eventually, she does begin to show the group more kindness though, seeing that it's because of them Coco and Nuts are happy again, and she believes they are in safe hands. She also uses her powers to activate the Milky Note, a device Nuts made. When she becomes lonely, noticing Coco is happy without her, she decides to leave for home, but first is given a farewell party and she confesses her feelings properly to him. He turns her down out of obligation to the cures, and she takes off after giving them her card. When they help the last and final ruler, King Montblanc, one day his palmon floated into the library, where Karen and Komichi discovered him and took the picture to return him to his normal form, but for some reason he was very sickly, unlike the others, and they are unable to find a cure for him until Queen Bavarois is contacted, in which she explains that he used up so much of his energy from being in his palmon form for so long. Karen takes it upon herself to nurse him back to health, but it seems everything she tries only makes his illness worse, until he reveals later that it is only because he is a picky eater. He bonds with her over their food items, like 5% grape juice, apparently. Once he is healed, he joins the 3 other monarchs and they open the way to the cured rose garden. Fact 1. All the 4 rulers are based on the 4 guardian beasts of Chinese mythology, as they also guard the 4 cardinal directions of the world. Those guardian beasts that the 4 rulers are based on is King Doughnuts is based on Shiru, the blue dragon of the east. Queen Bavarois is based on Suzaku, the red phoenix of the south. Princess Crape is based on Ryoko, the white tiger of the west, and finally King Montblanc is based on Jambu, the black turtle of the north. Fact 2. Princess Crape and King Doughnuts voice actors, along with the other voice actors of the 4 rulers, have voiced many to some characters in the Percure series. For Doughnuts and Crape, Crape's actor Kimiko Nishihara had voiced the crescendo tone in Sweet Percure, and Sharu in Doki Doki Percure. For Doughnuts, he voiced Juna in Bavarois Percure, Waster in Fresh Percure, and Abuki Hirono in Go Princess Percure. Fact 3. Also with Crape, she along with Queen of Bavarois share their suffix ending sentences with other characters, those being Kororo from Go Princess Percure, who shares Roro with Bavarois, and Crape, who shares her ending sentences with Cook in the Kira Kira Percure a la mode movie. In fact 4, all the 4 rulers are named after certain desserts. And you know what? I'm just gonna make you hungry for these treats because I feel like it. First, donuts. Yes, donut, the fried dough you get from Dunkin' Donuts, or Krispy Kreme, or wherever donut place you know. Bavarois is a Bavarian cream or cream Bavarois, which is a type of custard dessert. The crepe which is a type of pancake with a wide variety of fillings such as cheese, fruit, vegetables, meat, and a variety spreads. This is making me hungry as I write this script, and I'm probably as I talk about this right now. Is this making you hungry? And finally, Montblanc is a dessert of sweetened chestnut puree in the form of vermicelli topped with cream. And that is the 4 rulers. I really hope you enjoyed this, and sorry if I got you hungry thinking about the desserts the rulers are named after. Also, don't eat them. They are not edible. I mean the rulers, not the desserts. They are named after. Anyways, this is my last character information video of all the characters of Yes 5 and Gogo. With that, I'll see you in my analysis for Yes 5 and Gogo, and I'm going into Fresh Percure characters because I know one person is waiting for it. So let's not make this longer, and I'll see you next time.